Hi again, and welcome to OTCR. I'm Jules Brown. We've already talked about, or at least I've talked about in one or two of my reviews, about the power of nostalgia in music. And today I'm going to review an album which is, for me, one of those albums, one of the most nostalgia influenced albums, I guess, that I could review. It's sheet music, excuse the pun, by 10cc, released in 1974. Um, Me and my two brothers were lucky enough to have two quite cool uncles on both sides of the family when we were growing up, who kind of influenced us from a very early age into listening to decent music. On one side of the family, we had an older uncle who got us to exposed us to the Beatles, the Pretty Things, and the Trogs and the Kinks. Whilst on the other side of the family, we had a younger uncle who was only 9 years older than me and only 4 or 5 years older than my older brothers, who introduced us to the likes of David Bowie, Queen, and 10cc. And it's this 10cc album, Sheet Music, I want to review today. This album is, I rate it very highly, and I'm trying to count the nostalgia thing out of it and try and be objective. Look at it as an album as if I've never really heard it before, which is very difficult, of course, because I heard it many moons ago. But listening to it again today, I find it quite a stunning album, actually. Excuse me. It starts off with on a very high octane, in your face mode with the track and single "The Wall Street Shuffle," which was a single. I don't think it was, well, it was a little bit of a hit, but it wasn't a huge hit. And then follows it up with a fantastic Godley and, oh, it's not a Godley and Cream song, it's a Goldman and Cream song called "The Worst Band in the World." With those great lyrics: if Garbo played guitar with Valentino on the drums, then we'd be nothing more than a bunch of Dharma bums. Many lyrics like this on this album, sort of references to film, even the silent era of film, and just a juxtaposition of styles, not just across the album, but just within every song. Every song has a mixture of styles within it itself, but it works. I mean, for instance, the very last track on the album, "Oh Effendi," the verse, which is sung by Kevin Godley, I think, has this sort of country rock, really country rock flavour. In fact, you'd think that Kevin Godley was American, not Mancunian. The way he sings it, there's obviously a bit of irony involved there. And then the other parts of the song are just not, they're just totally disparate. They're sung by Eric Stewart, I believe, and beautiful. It just works. I'd say that the whole album was really powerful. Some beautiful songs on it. Of course, Godley and Cream are they're probably the most influential guys on the album, although Eric Stewart and Graham Gouldman are very influential as well. But they obviously weren't the same band when Godley and Cream left the band. They did three other albums, so they did 4 albums with this foursome. I believe this album, Sheet Music, was the first of the 3 really good ones. So they followed this up with the original soundtrack, and then How Dare You. All really good albums. Maybe this one is the pick of those 3, although I like them all. So back to this fantastic album, Old Wild Men. Well, this is an unbelievable. I have to admit, I got very emotional listening to this album. taking me back to my youth. But also, the songs are so beautiful. Kevin Godley's vocals on Old Wild Men. He sings the second lead vocal on that. Eric Stewart sings the first. Lord have mercy upon the many. Lord have mercy upon the few. Lord have mercy upon the many. Lord have mercy on me and on you. Oh, I was welling up by the end of that one, as I was at the end of the album, actually. When O Effendi finishes, and it suddenly finishes where it says, where he sings, there's no more goodies in the pipeline. And that's the end. What an album. What an album. So, as I say, side 2 starts really high octane as well. In Your Face, Silly Love, those guitars. Crazy. In Your Face. And there's even time for the use of the gizmo. Lord Cream's little invention, I believe. It appears on, which one does it? Old Wild Men. Yeah. So that's in there. I think for me, the only the weakest 2 tracks for me, and it's totally a subjective, personal thing, and they were not particularly weak. I just don't like them as much as the other tracks. Are probably Baron Samedi and the Sacroiliac. Excuse me. They're still good songs, of course, but the rest of that album, Somewhere in Hollywood, the last track, O Effendi, the worst band in the world, with a great. It's one thing to know it, but another to admit we're the worst band in the world, but we don't give a. My uncle actually squiggled in pen on the sleeve, this fantastic sleeve. You can see it. He actually scribbled in shit, the word that was intended, but never sang. But well, look at that. Doesn't that, if you know this album, that'll do things to you. Look at that. Anyway, so this album, sheet music, 10cc, at least 8.5 out of 10. I think I'm being biased. If I gave it 9, I think it'll be because of my nostalgia speaking. So I'll put it somewhere between 8.5 and 9, simply because I mentioned those 2 slightly weaker tracks. But apart from that, I really enjoyed listening to this album again today. Thanks for listening again. Don't forget to subscribe on the subscribe logo icon, whatever you would call it, and pass a comment if you wish. And again, it's good of you to tune in. Thank you very much, and hopefully see you again soon. I'm Jules Brown on OTCR. Thank you.